But sending troops over here costs a lot of what, guys? Money, moolah. And so the king was already in debt from his war with France over in Europe. He didn't want to start another one. And that is why his parliament passed a proclamation. Let's give our experts a big round of applause. Big, 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 big. Welcome, experts. So this is how it's going to work. Whenever you're coming up here, I'm going to hand you this microphone. You will introduce yourself as a proper expert. You will say, hello, my name is, and then you will say, I'm an expert on, and then you will tell us your definition.
Okay. Hello, my name is Gianch, and I'm an expert on Parliament. Parliament is the supreme governing body in England with the power to raise taxes and adopt laws.
That's right. Let's give Gianch a big round of applause, guys. And that will be a whole 25 points going to
the Red Coat.
Good job, Red Coat. And then you can hand over the microphone to Mia, and then Mia, you can take a seat and you can head on back to your chair.
Hello, my name is Mia and I'm an expert on proclamations. A proclamation is an official document or paper that declares or announces something so that other people will know. The Proclamation of 1763 stated that colonies could no longer move west into Indian Territory.
Great job. Let's give Mia a big round of applause. Great memorization as well, Mia. That is 25 points going to
The White Tories. Pop, pop.
Good job, my friends. And so now, this was the first time in 150 years that the colonies were being told what to do. They were being told, hey, you cannot move west into the Indian Territory. Now, if your parents stop telling you what to do for 150 years, and then all of a sudden they started telling you what to do again. They were like, hey, no more cartoons after 7 p.m. and you have to go to bed at that time and forget about candy. Would you listen to them?
No.
Probably not, right? Well, yes, hypothetically, if we were still alive by then, and young, and we still like candy and had tea too. Now, not very likely that you would listen, right? The colonists didn't either. They had a choice. They could choose to remain loyal to the king, or they could choose not to. And they could do whatever they wanted to. Well, now, my friends, on top of that, Parliament was charging them for some taxes. They were charging them customs and tariffs, like the Stamp Act, which got overturned a year later by the Sons of Liberty. Let's give our three experts a big round of applause, guys. Welcome, Lily.
Hello, my name is Lily, and I'm an expert on customs and tariffs. Customs or tariffs are special taxes placed on items that are taken into or out of a country.
Great job. Let's give Lily a big round of applause. Lily, I love your hairstyle. And that would be a whole 25 points going to
The Red Coat.
Good job.
Hello, my name is Parker. I am an expert on Stamp Acts. A Stamp Act? The Stamp Act was a decision by the British Parliament to tax the American colonies on legal papers, newspapers, and other documents such as books and pamphlets. It was overturned a year later.
Beautiful work. Let's give Parker a big round of applause, guys. Awesome work, Parker. And that will be 15 points going to
The Red Coat.
Good job, my friends. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Blake, and I'm an expert on the Sons of Liberty. The Sons of Liberty were a group of colonial men, who were a secret group of colonial men who took action against the unfair acts of Parliament. They helped to fight the Stamp Act and got it overturned.
That's right. Let's give Blake a big round of applause. Awesome work, Blake. That's 25 points going to Blue Rebels.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Ready? 25 points go to
The Blue Rebels.
Good job, my friends. Awesome work. Awesome work. Wait. Bella, are you clapping for another team whenever they get points? Do you know what I call that?
Good sportsmanship.
Yes, it is. I was going to say treason, but no, it's not treason. It's called good sportsmanship. Bella, go for the glory. Hey, go for the glory. Hey.
Go.
Bummer.
Oh.
But dude, and it's still a lollipop. Now, my friends, where were we? I was testing you. So the Sons of Liberty, they were able to get the stamp back overturned, and this is how. They began to work with this other group called the Committee of Correspondence. To correspond means to communicate. What are some ways that we communicate with people who are far away nowadays? Messenger, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You can do all kinds of things nowadays, right? But you can even get on Discord with your friends and also talk to them, right? Yeah, makes it very easy to play video games. Now, guys, it turns out that back in the day, surprise, you're not gonna believe this, they didn't have TikTok or Discord. I know, impressive. I mean, they even survived. Well, my friends, they actually had to send everything via letters, via horseback, or Pony Express, which actually took a long time and a lot of effort. But despite that they continued to communicate with each other, they worked really hard. That was the reason they were able to get the stamp back overturned, and it was the first sign of a united America. So Parliament was like, all right, okay, we see how it is. You overturn the Stamp Act? Cool. We're gonna pass some new laws then. That's gonna take care of this kind of issue. Now you won't be able to ever again overturn one of our laws. Yeah? And so they passed a couple of laws called the Declaratory Act, as well as the Townshend Act. Let's give our experts a big round of applause, guys.
Hello, my name is Trent and I'm an expert on the Declaratory Act. The Declaratory Act declared that the British Parliament had complete control over the American colonies. The colonies had to obey all laws imposed by British no matter what.
That's right. Let's give him a big round of applause. Great job, Trent. So professional. And that will be a full 15 points going to... Good job, my friends. Awesome work. Welcome, Logan.
Hello, my name is Logan and I'm an expert on the Townshend Act. The Townshend Act was an act placed on the colonies shortly after the Stamp Act was overturned. This act stated that the British had the right to tax the colonists.
That's right. Let's give him a big round of applause. Awesome work, Logan. And that is 25 points going to... Awesome work. And so, guys, the Declaratory Act told them that they had to obey, and the Townshend Act told them that they had to pay. But the colonists, guess what? They did not want to pay. So they started doing something illegal called smuggling. Do you guys know what smuggling means?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
He said, yeah, I do it a lot. We are nothing, yeah, we are nothing, okay? And so, guys, let's do a quick example of smuggling. Maybe Logan will be an expert on this. So go ahead and grab your pencils and put them right in front of you, just like that. Pen or pencils are underneath your chairs. Perfect, good. Maybe stop? Okay, good. And so now I am going to become King Jeanette of England. And as king, I'm going to pass a new law. This is called the Pencil Act. The Pencil Act states that for each pen or pencil that I see, you have to pay me $1. That's right. But I wonder what would you do if I'm not paying attention to you? I'm just counting the pencils that I already have over here. What would you do with your pencils? I wonder if you don't want to pay, what could happen?
I just threw it over there.
You should tell me, because over there it's not, otherwise it won't be smuggling. Unless you go pick it up later and then I don't see you. There you go. Yeah, that's right. Everyone's putting their pencils away. You're hiding them, pretending that you don't have them. That's what smuggling means. And so, go ahead and put your pencils back away. The king didn't care if there were smuggling items or not, guys, because he still wanted his money. Everyone's like, show me the money. Show me the money. So his officers started to abuse the writs of assistance. Let's give our expert on the writs of assistance a big round of applause.
document served as a search warrant. This allowed the British to search a colonial home or ship for smuggled items or weapons for no good reason.
That's right. Let's give him a big round of applause. Awesome work, Noah. And that is 25 points going to... Good job, my friend. Awesome work. Right over here, Parker, you've been giving me some good sportsmanship already. Parker, go for the glory. Hey, go for the glory. Hey, go for...
Oh, wait, what am I, wait, I forgot what I'm supposed to say if I found the gold.
Oh, glory.
I found, glory.
Oh, yay! And that is 50 points going to... Good job, my friend. Awesome work. And so the writs of assistance basically said that they could search, repeat after me, your pockets, your purse, your boat, your belongings. Faster, your pockets, your purse, your boat, your belongings. Faster, your pockets, your purse, your boat, your belongings. Faster, your pockets, your purse, your belongings. Your what? Yeah, they could search anything they wanted to at any given time and for any given reason. And do you think that the colonists like that? No. So they started to yell something out. They started to yell out, "No taxation without representation." Do you guys know what that means? Good. We're going to do another example of no taxation without representation. So now the red team, you guys are going to play Parliament. Okay? You're in England. And as Parliament, you're going to pass a new law. I'm king, you guys are passing the law. Although king over there, don't mind me, just king for a little bit. And so, this act is called the Snack Act. How many snack breaks do you guys get each day at school?
3.
So what the Snack Act states is that for each person that takes a snack break, they have to pay you $1 per break per day. So that's $3 a day from each person here. How does that sound, Redcoats? I mean, they're paying you. Sounds good, right? That sounds good. That's gonna be like $30 a week for each one of you. Amazing. Now, guys, everyone who is in favor of the break or of the Snack Act, say aye. Everyone who is not in favor, those people who do not want to pay them, say nay. That's right, but guess what? You guys are all the way over there across the Atlantic Ocean from England, and we can really hear you, so we're gonna pass it anyway. Does that sound fair? It's not fair. But hey guys, we're actually a very considerate and good parliament, right? We do care about our people. So we're going to at least allow them to have some voters. We're going to allow some of those people over here to vote and see if they want to pay for it or not. Does that sound fair? Good, perfect. All right, so we're going to have some delegates. Scarlett, what's up?
Because they're like the Tories, don't they agree with the king, or do they not always agree?
Sometimes it depends on how they're feeling, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. For now, we're just going to pretend that nobody wants to pay those taxes, because it's not even the Tories or the Loyalists. It's you guys that are actually going to have to pay for this Snack Act. That's fine. I think this is real life, guys. So I'm going to need some representatives right over here to travel with me to England. So, come on over, Josie. And then you can come on over, Scarlett. And then Andrew, let's go. And then right over here, Millie, Bella, and Cameron. Let's go all the way to England. Careful, there are sharks in the ocean. Take a boat.
Jumped over.
Jumped over the ocean. Okay, now everyone is gonna line up right here behind me, and we're gonna face that wall, and then you're gonna have a seat on the floor. Welcome, delegates. We are here united at Parliament to take a second vote on the Break Act, Snack Act. Everyone who is in favor of the Snack Act, say aye. Everyone who is not in favor of the Snack Act, say nay. That's right. Now you guys are going to stand up. You're going to turn around. You're going to face them with really angry faces. You're going to raise your fists in the air, and you're going to yell at them, "Ah! Ah!" Tell them, no taxation without representation. Awesome work. And head on back to your colonies, delegates. Thank you very much. So that's what no taxation without representation means. They just didn't want to pay for those taxes. taxes if they couldn't at least vote on it, which would be the fair thing to do. But that's not what actually happened. The king didn't allow any representatives to travel to England and take a vote. So tensions started to rise. And in fact, on March 5th, 1770, things got really fired up. There were British troops in Boston trying to enforce the Townshend Act. Well, of course, the British soldiers were not very liked by the colonists because they were enforcing all these laws that they didn't like, they were taking their money. So, turns out that the British soldiers, well, the colonists started to call the British soldiers really nasty names, really bad things. They were calling the British soldiers, my goodness, my poor ears. How could you say such a horrible thing, Blake? I am traumatized for life. Now, guys, they were calling them lobster backs. And so, that sounds horrible, I know. But it turns out that back in the day, although that sounds very silly to us, because nowadays, you call someone a lobster back, they're gonna be like, lobster backs? Lobster backs. Well, guys, back in the day, lobsters were not considered the fancy food that they are today. They were considered the cockroaches of the ocean. Usually people will feed them to their dogs. And so, I know, what a waste. And so, guys, turns out that do you think that it is respectful or disrespectful to make fun of an army's uniform like that? Yeah, to any army's uniform, that would just be outrageous nowadays. Imagine if someone made fun of our army uniform nowadays. Like, ha ha, you look so green. Lizard. Backs. Exactly. So it would be so rude. So guys, one of the soldiers was really upset about being called a lobster back, so he reacted and he hit one of the colonists with the back of his musket. Whack! The colonists then reacted by making something out of the snow on the ground. Guys, what do you make with snow? Snowballs! And then there was a snowball fight! But it wasn't just any regular snowball fight.
Boston Massacre.
Inside of those snowballs, they were putting oyster shells, broken glass, rocks, anything they could find, throwing them at the soldiers, so it got really dangerous really quick. In the middle of the confusion, shots rang out, there were 5 colonists dead, another 6 were wounded. Later on, that event became known as Boston Massacre! And there was one man who lost his life on that day. His name was? Crispus Attucks. Let's give him a big round of applause. Oh, something missed you.
It's
Yes,
yours.
it is.
Oh. I
Oh.
didn't see it. Wow.
There. Okay, good. Now go ahead and stand right over here, Crispus.
Have
So-
two just in case.
You can have the 2 just in case. So we're gonna first talk about points, okay? So if you come up here and you have your character, if you read your card, which again is totally fine, you get 25 points. But if you have it memorized, you're gonna get an additional 10 for a total of 35 points. Then, if you're wearing a costume, which all of you guys are today, you're gonna get another 5 points for a total of 40 points. But now, if you have a prop, remember to bring it up with you, because that will be worth another 5 points for a total of 45 points. But then there is more. I know. Did you guys look at the performance instructions at the bottom of your cards?
Yes, I just got information that I have to do this, so.
That's okay. No worries. Are you subbing for someone today?
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. So do you need your card?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I will tell you what you need to do. No worries. I'm here to help you out. If you guys have any doubt, if you guys are subbing for someone today, just let me know whenever you come up here and I will help you out. So, my friends, if you do that action, that performance, is going to be another 5 points on top of that for a total of 50, but there's even more. That's right. If you want to be extra today, you definitely can milk that. And this is how. Let's say that you want to really impersonate your character. You want to walk around and own them. That's right. Maybe you want to give us some sort of accent. Maybe you want to give us the voice that you think and your character used to have. Anything like that. Any good acting skills are going to be counted. And I'm going to give you 5 additional points for a total of 55 points. Now, it's up to you, whatever you do. But remember that the more things you do, the more points you can get for your teams. All I ask is that you remain safe today, because we did have an accident earlier when someone got really into their character and they might have gotten a little bit injured. So make sure that you keep it safe, okay? Now, I do need to talk to Crispus for just a second, so you guys go ahead and cover your ears really quick.
Stop cheating, Concha.
What's going on? I can't hear you. Oh no. Try to sleep.
Okay, all right, everyone. I think he's ready. Here you go. You can get started. Let's give Crispus a big round of applause! Yeah, go ahead and start. Read it out.
Do I say my name or?
That name.
Okay. My name is Crispus Attucks. Hello, my name is Crispus Attucks. I'm the first African-American man who was one of the first patriots killed in the early fight for independence. I was a tradesman and a rope maker at the docks in Boston on March 5th, 1770. When the British soldiers were mistreating colonists, I was on the front lines on the march against them. When somebody in the crowd yelled fire, I was shot by the British. This event became known as the Boston Massacre. After my death, patriots reminded each other about my brave sacrifice.
Now we'll take your stuff, microphone, music, and you can go ahead and roll your mouth.
No, throw it at the team.
Throw it.
Throw it at Dion.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Let's give them a big round of applause, guys! Awesome work, good job. Yes. Thank you for stepping up for your team today, Trent. That was really good. That will be a whole, well, let's see. He read his card, but he did have a costume, he did have a prop, he did do his action. So that's 40 points going to... Beautiful work, my friends. And so after the Boston Massacre, things stayed pretty calm for about 2 years. And then after 2 years, the Gaspee affair occurred. Let's hear from our expert on the Gaspee. Big round of applause. Now guys, whenever you hear the word Gaspee today, you're gonna do a short gasp like this. Ready? Gaspee. Here you go.
Hello, my name is Brooks and I'm an expert on the Gaspee. The Gaspee was a British ship that is used to chase colonial smugglers. On June of 1772, the ship crashed offshore of Rhode Island and a colonist who lived there set her on fire.
That's right. Let's give him a big round of applause. Awesome work, Brooks. And that will be a whole 25 points going to... Ooh, I'm seeing a lot of sportsmanship coming over from the red team today. I'm gonna give you guys an extra 10 points for your sportsmanship. 10 points go to... Good job. Now guys, turns out, excuse me, gotta clean out the microphone. COVID safety. And so guys, turns out that things are getting pretty crazy. First there was the Boston Massacre, 5 people dead, another 6 wounded, and now there were ships getting set on fire with the Gaspee? I know, right? And then on top of that, the leader of the Sons of Liberty, who was also the leader of the Boston Committee of Correspondence, held a meeting against the Tea Act. He gathered a bunch of guys, he sat them all down, and then he told them, hey dudes, what about we dress up as Mohawk Indians? We sneak aboard 3 British ships, and we throw 342 crates of tea into the ocean. Now, if you know the British, you know they love their tea. And everyone living in the colonies came from where? Britain. So they also love tea, and now they were having to pay high taxes on it. And they weren't too down for that. Well, this guy who held this meeting and who was the leader of this, which became known as the Boston Tea Party. His name was Samuel Adams. Let's give him a big round of applause, guys. Welcome to Samuel Adams. Here you go. So whenever you're done with your card, what you're gonna do, Blake, is you're gonna throw your tea into the ocean, and you're gonna say, throw the tea, and then we're all gonna answer, into the sea, all right?
Hello, my name is Samuel Adams. To protest taxes imposed by the British Parliament, I organized the Boston Tea Party. As a delegate from the colony of Massachusetts, I signed the Declaration of the Independence. I also wrote many articles in the Boston newspapers to stir up the emotions of the Americans on the idea of freedom from Great Britain. After the war, I became the governor of Massachusetts.
Good job. Awesome work, Blake. Awesome work. Great job, Blake. Good. And so that will be 50 points going to. And so, guys, there were 342 crates of tea destroyed on that day, the equivalent of $1 million in today's money. And do you think that the king was happy about it? No! King George III reacted by passing the Coercive Acts. Let's give both of them a big round of applause, guys. Your Majesty.
Hello, my name is King George III. I am the leader of the British Empire. I feel that the colonies that England has set up are under my control. The Americans dare to demand certain freedoms, but I will not hear of it. My advisors will pass laws in Parliament to tax the colonies, and if the rebels continue to cause problems, I will send troops to America to stop the revolution.
Incredible. Let's give a big round of applause. Awesome work, dude. That's what I call acting skills, guys. Just earn yourself those 5 extracting points. That's 55 points going to. Good job, my dear. You can go ahead and have a seat. Welcome, Parker.
Hello, my name is Parker and I'm an expert on the Coercive Acts. The Coercive Acts were used by the British to try and restore order in Massachusetts. The colonists nicknamed them the Intolerable Acts.
That's right. Let's give him a big round of applause. Awesome work, Parker. That's 25 points going to. Good job, my friends. Awesome, awesome, awesome work. Good. I am also seeing a lot of respect coming over from the blue team. One of those people was Josie. Josie, go for the glory! Go for the glory! Still a lollipop, guys. So now, guys, there were 5 different coercive acts. One of them closed the harbor until the colonists paid for all the tea that they damaged, which actually never happened. Then there was another one that said that they could have no town meetings, they could not get together. So that's like if someone came here and told you guys, you cannot hang out with your friends, you cannot gather in groups, you cannot talk to each other in close proximity. Exactly. Back in the day, there was no pandemic, it was just England. But, my friends, there were many different of those coercive acts were affecting the lives of people, and there was one that affected their lives directly, privately, in their homes, and that one was the Quartering Act. Let's hear from our expert on the Quartering Act. Big round of applause. Welcome, expert.
Hello, my name is Nathan and I'm an expert on the Quartering Act. The Quartering Act of 1774 was part of the Coercive Act. This act applied to all colonists that the British soldiers were allowed to live and eat in colonial homes without the owner's permission.
That's right. Let's give him a big round of applause. Awesome work, Nathan. Thanks, 25 points going to. Good job, my friends. Awesome work. So, the Quartering Act basically worked like this. Let's say that I go over to Ariella's house, and I knock on your door, Ariella. And you open the door, and I'm like, hey girl, I'm gonna live here now. That's right, yeah. Wait, is that your bedroom? Ooh, cute. Ooh, your bed is comfy. I'm gonna sleep here now. You can take the couch. Wait, is that pizza and ice cream in the fridge? Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat it all, and I'm not gonna save you any. Wait, is that your dog? Oh, it's so cute. I'm gonna play with your dog now. We're gonna become best friends. We're gonna go on walks, and your dog's gonna sleep with me now. Oh, also, is that your tablet? I'm gonna be playing with it all day. How does that sound, Ariella?
Terrible.
That's what I figured. Guys, would that be fair? No! Absolutely not. So that's what was happening with the people in the colonies with the Quartering Act. Now, there were some people who didn't mind so much. Well, maybe they did, but they would never say anything about it because they were very loyal to the king. They would always do whatever he asked, no matter how tyrannical he was acting. And those people were the Tories or Loyalists. Let's give our expert a big round of applause, guys. Hello, Millie. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Millie. My expert is Tories or Loyalists. Tories or Loyalists were a group of people living in America who felt it was wrong to go against the instructions of the King of England.
That's right. Let's give her a big round of applause. Awesome work, Millie. That is 25 points going to the White Tories. Ha ha! So, yeah, a lot of people were like, okay, fine, we'll do whatever the king says. But everyone else was like, you're not gonna play with my dog and just eat my pizza. And so, there was this guy who delivered this great speech who got embedded into the hearts of Americans for many generations to come. He inspired them to take arms against their homeland and try to get their independence. He was passionate. He was promising. His name was Patrick Henry. Let's give him a big round of applause, guys. Welcome, Mr. Patrick Henry. Mr. Patrick Henry, you have a prop. Don't forget your prop. Here you go, Mr. Patrick Henry. Now, do you remember that your speech had some pauses to them? Okay, so we're going to be interrupting you a little bit because we are it's incredible what you're telling us. Nobody has heard this before. So, he's speaking truth, guys. He's preaching. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to totally interrupt him. When I point to the red team, you guys are going to yell out, "What?" Let's practice. What? If I point to the white team, you guys are going to yell out, "That's treason!" Let's practice. That's treason! And if I point to the blue team, you guys are going to yell out, "No! No!" All right, perfect. Go right ahead, Nathan.
Hello, my name is Patrick Henry, and if we wish to be free, we must fight.
What?
I repeat, sir, we must fight.
What?
An appeal to arms and to the gods of hosts, that is all what is left to us.
That's treason!
If this be treason, then let's make the most of it.
That's treason!
Shall we resort to entreaty, humble supplication?
No!
Is life so dear, or peace so sweet, as for it to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery?
No!
Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what other courses others will take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.
Beautiful. That was very passionate, just
Well
like
done.
Patrick Henry. So that will be a whole 50 points going to the White Tories. Ha ha! Good job, my friends. Now let's take a look at this flag right over here. This flag has another flag in the squared part or canton of that flag. What flag is that? The British flag. Now, what are those 13 stripes then? The 13 colonies. This is called the Grand Union flag, and it represents the union between Great Britain and the 13 colonies. But this union would soon be dissolved. Well, if they wanted to break away from Great Britain, they were going to have to create a new government to unite them all. So they suggested that they start with the Continental Congress. Let's give our expert on the Continental Congress a big round of applause. Welcome, Mariela.
I need the card, please.
Yes, no problem. Continental Congress.
Sorry, Andrew.
Hello, my name is Ariella, and I'm an expert on the Continental Congress. The Continental Congress was made up of delegates from each colony. These men assembled to solve the problems posed by the British.
Good job. Let's give Ariella a big round of applause. Thank you, my dear. And that is 15 points going to... Good job, my friends. So, the first act of Congress was to stop trade with England. They thought, maybe if we stop trading with them, they will stop giving us all these horrible taxes. Maybe, just maybe, the king will loosen up his grip. And do you think that it worked? No. The king ended up following through with his threats to send troops over to America. So Redcoat, you are those troops. Go ahead and stand up. You're gonna march in place. You're marching towards businessmen and farmers. That's right. Ludin, you are the businessmen and farmers. So you're going to stand up and you're gonna get ready to defend your lands, your lives, your freedoms. Get ready to defend, guys. Hey, have a seat. I know you guys thought you were gonna fight against each other, but that's actually what happened in real life. Turns out that the businessmen and farmers who had no idea about war now had to become the militia and Minutemen. Let's give our expert a big round of applause, guys. Welcome, Victor.
Hello, my name is Victor and I'm an expert on the militia and the Minutemen. A militia is a group of regular citizens who serve as soldiers in times of emergency. The Minutemen were skilled fighters of the militia, and they agreed to fight for their independence and would only be ready for battle when under a minute's notice.
That's right. Give him a big round of applause. Have some more, Victor. That is 25 points going too. Good job, my friend. Awesome, awesome work. Scarlett, I really like your enthusiastic team here. Scarlett, go for the glory. Go for the glory. Hey. Oh, glory. Yay! 50 points, go. 2. Good job, my friends. Awesome.
You guys gotta get that shoe together.
Now, guys, if you were in the colonies, if you were in the militia and the Minutemen, and you had the most powerful army marching towards you, you better know how to use a musket. It was not that easy, guys. You had to follow certain procedures because these weapons were not automatic weapons. You know, you can just go bang, 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 bang. You had to do what, guys? Load them over and over. That took a long time. Now, Victor, you were my expert on militia and Minutemen. So I'm going to need your assistance here for just a second. Coming up. Now, guys, right over here I have 10 wooden musket replicas. And we're going to be giving you a demonstration of how we're going to use the Victor. You're going to help me out today. And so whenever we do your battle scenes, you're going to be using these muskets, okay? There are 10 of them in that bag. And then at the top of the bag, make sure that you search, there is also a sword that you all can use for your battle scenes and for your characters. All of this is available to you. They have all already been sanitized. And so, come on over right here, Victor. So you're going to, right there, perfect. So, guys, this is how you would usually hold the musket. Hand on bottom, there you go, just like that, beautiful. Now, my friends, everyone is going to do this with us. You're just going to pretend that you have a musket. So everyone go ahead and stand up, pretend that you're holding your musket. Good. Now we're going to take a knee to the ground because it's time to load our muskets. Put your musket right in front of you. Now, across your body, there is a strap with a pouch at the end. Yes, it's kind of like a purse. And now we're going to open it up. Oh, there's a bunch of cartridge boxes. So let's pull up one of the cartridges, rip off the top of it with the top of your teeth, and then spit out the rest. Oh, Lily, did you just spit on me? Ew, Lily. Now, my friends, we're going to go ahead and put the contents into the barrel. And now what happens if we do this?
No, you
Well,
gotta.
it's gonna just spill out. All the contents are gonna spill out. Well, yeah, because we have to do something else in order for it to stay there. What is it, guys? Yes, you have to pack it. So you're gonna grab the ramrod, which is right there on top of it, and you're gonna push it all in, pack it good. Now it's safe. And now, on the count of 3, we're all gonna point at the exit side, and we're gonna yell out bang when we fire. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bang! Bring it out, bring it out, bring it out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bang! So my friends, go ahead and have a seat. And then Victor, can you please help me put these back away? Let's give Victor a big round of applause for helping us get some space today, guys. Whenever you coming up to do your battle scenes, make sure that you use these muskets appropriately and respectfully. What? Yeah, that's right. Because we want to make sure that everyone here feels safe, make sure that you don't point them at anyone before or after the battle scenes, only during the battle scenes. Make sure that you are reloading your muskets because I'm going to be looking at that during your battle scenes to give you points. And, well, it's very important. Yes, Brooks.
Me and Chad both have these things.
You can use them as well.
But they do make this a little.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, you can use whatever.
You do the whole scene and then we talk it.
Yeah, you just pretend. There you go. Just pretend that you use it like that. Yes, Bella.
For my card, I have to hold someone at gunpoint. So am I allowed to hold pointed at them?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Just not when we're not doing part of the program because that person might feel a little bit uncomfortable. You know what I mean, right? Okay, good. Now, my friends, so it's also very important that we use them respectfully because we gotta make sure that we show respect, that we show honor to the people who have fought very bravely for the freedoms that we have in our country, the people who have fought in the U.S. military back in the day, and the people who continue to serve in the U.S. military today. Raise your hand if you know someone in the military, guys. There you go. You may know people in your family. You may know people who are your friends or your parents' friends, or maybe someone from, I don't know, school or a parent of your friends. Well, that's why it's very important that we are respectful to using these things because we are talking about weapons. So make sure that you treat them carefully, nicely, responsibly, guys. Now, with that, we're getting close to the first battle of the day. Before we jump into the battle, we have to talk about what happened right before that. It was May 1775, and there was this guy who came riding a horse to tell the Continental Army that the regular army was marching into the area, and his name was William Dawes. That's right, but then he came along with this other guy. His name was Dr. Samuel Prescott. That's right, but then there was a third dude that came along, and his name was Paul Revere. We've been calling you. Where are you? Let's give Paul Revere a big round of applause, guys. You're welcome, Mr. Paul. You're welcome.
Wait, two other people.
Hello, my name is Paul Revere. I am famous for riding a horse to warn the Minutemen. I, along with William Dawes and Samuel Prescott, spread the alarm that the British regular army was coming. The colonists armed themselves against the British troops and fought at the battles of Lexington and Concord. I was stopped a few miles beyond Lexington and never made it to Concord. The regulars are out! The regulars are... What?
We give her a big round of applause. Good job. Awesome acting skills. Is it Mia?
Yes.
Mia, great job. You get those extra 5 points. That is 55 points going to...
The White Tories! Ha! Ha!
Nice action, nice action. And so, guys, turns out that this is how the battles of Lexington and Concord started. So we're gonna see them from the white team. Let's give them a big round of applause, guys. Grab your muskets, grab everything you need. Don't forget your brown beauty horse. And then we're gonna have the red team. You're gonna switch over. You're gonna sit on the chairs right there. 3.
Lights, camera, action!
Even though there had been some Americans killed at the Boston Massacre 5 years earlier, the battles of Lexington and Concord were the first battles of the American Revolution. The battles happened on April 19, 1775. The British were planning on arresting Samuel Adams and John Hancock in Lexington, but Paul Revere rode his horse to warn the town that the regular British army was marching into the area.
The regulars are out! The regulars are out! Get up! The regulars are out!
The Americans stood in a flat field to defend themselves.
Stop it! Yes, sir!
No one knows who fired the first shot.
Retreat!
Hooray! Hooray! Victory!
8 Americans were killed and 10
73 British soldiers were killed, 174 wounded, and 26 others were missing. The Battle of Concord later became known as the Shotford Round.
And now, on May 1775, new delegates came together for the Second Continental Congress. At this point, they had a new plan. They were all gonna hope for peace, but just in case they were gonna prepare for war. So they unanimously elected their first president, Mr. John Hancock. Let's give him a big round of applause, guys. Mr. Hancock, don't forget your prop. Yeah, absolutely. Let me find it.
You said you memorized all of it. I thought I did.
Hello, my name is John Hancock. I'm a delegate from Massachusetts who served as the president of the Continental Congress from 1775 to 1777. I signed my name very large on the Declaration of Independence. Some say that King George III wouldn't have to wear glasses to see my name. The British considered me and Samuel Adams and me the most dangerous American revolutionaries.
That's right. So here you go. I'm going to stop you, microphone, and for the feather, give a large, large signature. Thank you very much, Mr. Hancock. Let's give him a big round of applause, guys. That would be 4142. Good job, my friends. Now, guys, Mr. Hancock and the other delegates from the Continental Congress decided that they were going to actually need a real army now, because they had the militia and the Minutemen, but they needed like a nice, good, official army to be able to fight the British. So they decided that the Massachusetts militia should become the first Continental Army, but that army was going to need a general, so they elected Mr. George Washington as their commander-in-chief. George Washington. Did you need a sword? Oh, you have a sword. Very well prepared. Go right ahead.
Hello, my name is George Washington. I was the first.
It's okay. I can help you out. Let me see. Girl, because I just don't have it off the top of my head right now. I am known for many things.
Hello, my name is George Washington. I'm known for many things. A farmer, a surveyor, and the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. I came from a good family and have worked hard all my life. I
Fought many battles.
I fought many battles alongside my troops in the battlefield.
And even helped.
And even helped finance the Continental Army and the Navy.
After the war,
I will become the first elected president of the United States of America. First in peace, first in the hearts of my countrymen.
amazing. Where was this happening? And that beat a whole 55 points going through. Good answer. So this flag right over here is called the Washington Cruiser flag. If you look at it, it has a pine tree to symbolize the independence, and also it says what, guys? An appeal to heaven. Yes, and so basically, guys, turns out that the colonists were very, very religious people. And if we look at this other flag right here, this one is called the Bedford flag. This one flew at the Battle of Concord. Now, guys, there is an arm coming out of the clouds right here. Whose arm do you suppose that is? God. Yeah, it is God. Well, it turns out that because they were very religious people, they thought that they could have help from God and fall from the heavens. That's why there's an appeal to heaven, so that they could win the American Revolution, or that at least they will get, some help. Now, my friends, it turns out that George Washington was given 23,000 men for his army. While he was preparing them for war, Congress was preparing a document for peace. This document was called the Olive Branch Petition. Do you guys know what the olive branch represents?
No.
What is it?
Peace.
That's right. Good job, everyone. Say peace. And then eat your peace. And so, guys, he sent it over to England. But the king didn't even read it. Everyone say, how rude. So they decided that they were going to need to write a new document to separate themselves from England, to declare to them that they would no longer want to be part of the British Empire. And this document will be the Declaration of Independence. Let's give our expert a big round of applause, guys. Here's the card. I think it's the last one. Oh, right here.
Hello, my name is Blake, and I am the I'm an expert on the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence is a document that was written by delegates of the Second Continental Congress. This explained to the British why they wanted to be a free and independent country.
That's right. And now these 50 points go to... Good job, my friends. So, let's meet some of the delegates who wrote the Declaration of Independence. Let's meet the main writer, Mr. Thomas Jefferson. Big round of applause for Mr. Thomas Jefferson. Now, Mr. Thomas Jefferson, do you have a prop with you today? No, that's okay. Well, if you do, go ahead and grab it. Now, we also need the oldest signer of the Declaration of Independence, Mr. Benjamin Franklin. Slowly, Mr. Benjamin Franklin. And then the second president of the United States, Mr. John Adams. Give them three a huge round of applause, guys. Here you go.
Hello, my name is Thomas Jefferson. I was the main writer of the Declaration of Independence, as well as the third president. I was a shy law student when the idea of independence was considered. I was a farmer and inventor and created the American coin system. When I founded the Library of Congress, University of Virginia, and the Democratic Party. As president, I authorized the Louisiana Purchase, which doubled the size of the country. Let's move west.
Great job. Awesome work right here. And now the 50 points going to... Whoever of you goes first, doesn't matter. There you go. Perfect.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Franklin. I'm one of the most famous Americans during the Revolution. I'm an inventor, patriot, ambassador, and even the first Postmaster General. The lightning rod was one of my most important inventions. I'm the oldest signer of the Declaration of Independence. During the war, I go to France many times to ask for assistance of French troops, ships, and money to help defeat the British.
That's right. Let's give him a big round of applause. Awesome work, folks. Careful heading back to your chair, Mr. Benjamin Franklin. Remember, you're very, very old. There you go. Watch your hips. Watch your hips. Oh, goodness. Good job, Brooks. Awesome. I also noticed that you were walking around, you were enunciating, you were giving us some extra dramatic effect right there. So you do get those 5 extra points. 55 points go to... Welcome, Mr. John Adams.
Hello, my name is John Adams. I played a leading role in the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. My wife Abigail and I were outspoken on the separation from Great Britain. I was the first vice president of our new country and was elected the second president of the United States in 1797. I died on July 4th, 1826, at the age of 90. Thomas Jefferson died that same day. Thomas Jefferson still survives.
Amazing. Let's give Cameron a big round of applause, guys. Great job, Cameron. And that is 50 points going to... Now, guys, it turns out that we are about to have a wonderful opportunity to witness an experiment unlike any other. This is called the American experiment. And if it shall work, we will be able to welcome new chances, and we might get the freedom to reign. So, do you think it's gonna work?
Yes. Maybe, unless the British don't.
Well, it's going to take one more 7 years, and also a 5-minute break to find out. That's right, guys. We're gonna take a 5-minute break right now. Before we go, however, we need to get a beautiful picture of you guys as a group because your parents couldn't be here today, and so we wanna make sure that they receive it. So, I'm gonna have the white team. White team, you're gonna line up right here in front of the table. You're gonna stand either shoulder to shoulder or elbow to elbow. If you wanna be elbow distance, that's totally a-okay. Just make sure that you are comfortable and you feel safe. Perfect, good. Now, I'm going to have the red team, you guys are gonna be right in front of them. Drop on 2 high knees. Not high knees, high knees.
I get it.
So I'm gonna need John Hancock, you're gonna come right here in the middle. Thomas Jefferson, you're gonna be right here. Benjamin Franklin, you're gonna be right here. And then Roger Sherman, right over here. No, Robert Livingston, and John Adams. No worries, here, I have an extra one. But do you guys know your cards?
I know the front, but I don't know the back.
Don't worry, we'll get to that. Now, we're missing Roger Sherman. Who had Roger Sherman?
Concha,
Awesome, go over right here, Roger Sherman. You're gonna be right over here.
Concha. Andrew.
You'll be okay.
Perfect. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. You guys are gonna share it. Andrew's actually gonna go first. Andrew, whenever you're done, you're gonna hand it over to Cameron, okay? Perfect, good. Now, my friends, hold on, I need the microphone. So, right over here we have the Second Continental Congress delegates who met here to assemble and, well, discuss the idea of independence from Great Britain. Right over here in the center we have Mr. John Hancock, the president of the Second Continental Congress. Mr. John Hancock, I'm going to give you this microphone. We're going to be passing it around. So this is how it's going to work. Okay. We are going to be the rest of the delegates of the Second Continental Congress, and we are very excited about this idea of independence, okay? So, we're going to be shouting a bunch of things out. And Mr. John Hancock, because you are the president, you have to make sure that you maintain order here. So, this is what we're going to do. You're going to go in the following order. Pay attention. Number 1, John Hancock. Number 2, Thomas Jefferson. Number 3, Benjamin Franklin. Number 4, Roger Sherman. Number 5, Robert Livingston. And finally, number 6, John Adams. You're all going to do part 1. Don't worry about part 2. Once everyone is done with part 1, I will give you a cue and everyone will do part 2 together in unison, okay? Now, Mr. John Hancock, we're going to practice. So, you're going to practice your part, but you're not actually going to say your part. You're going to say blah, blah, blah. Whenever you're done saying, whenever each of them are done saying their parts, we are going to be shouting things out. You guys are going to follow my lead. Okay? And then when you hear shouting things out, Mr. Hancock, you will yell out, order, order! And then everyone will stop shouting things out. Got it? Okay. Now, then you will hand the microphone to Thomas Jefferson, and then whenever you guys are talking and you finish and you hear shouting, you will always give the microphone back to Mr. Hancock, because he's responsible for getting order. Got it? All right. So go ahead and do the blah, blah, blah thing.
Blah, 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 blah.
Bananas, bananas, bananas.
Order, order.
Good, perfect. Now you will hand your microphone over to Mr. Thomas Jefferson, and then you can practice your part, Mr. Thomas Jefferson. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Potatoes, 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 potatoes. Order. Good, perfect. And just like that for every one of the characters in that order that I told you. So now, with that, I think that we are actually ready to begin for real. You can try it out, Brooks, if you want.
Blah, 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 blah.
Turtles! 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 Order! Good. Okay, perfect. So, Mr. John Hancock, go right ahead. Oh, wait, no, hold on. We have to give you a background of information of what's happening here, guys. We're meeting in the Second Continental Congress to discuss the idea of independence, but remember, one of the rights that got taken away from us earlier was the right to assemble, the right to meet up. What are we doing right now? And what are we discussing? That's considered treason against Britain. They cannot find out that we're here, because otherwise we're gonna be in a lot of trouble. But it is summer in the East Coast. It's July, guys. It's hot and muggy, but we still have to wear our formal clothes. We're dressed as formal gentlemen with heavy coats and powder wigs and tricorn hats. That's right. No, it's not a wig. I believe it. And so, my friends, we have to close the curtains, close the doors, close the windows, and we have to deal with this sticky hot mugginess just so that we can talk about our independence. Go right ahead, Mr. John Hancock.
Start.
Yes.
Gentlemen, as President of the Second Continental Congress, I say we need to let King George III of England know how we feel. We have discussed many things the King has done, such as the Quartering Act, Proclamation of 1763, and the taxation without representation. I have asked Thomas Jefferson to head a committee to write a document explaining that we want to be a free and independent country.
Independence!
Independence! Independence! Independence! Independence!
Order! Order!
Good. Go ahead and hand it over to Mr. Jefferson.
Thank you. Here is how I started the new document. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth what the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind, which requires them to declare the reasons which impel them to the separation.
Separate! Separate!
Order! Order!
All right.
It continues with the Declaration of our Rights. As free men, we hold these truths self-evident that all men are created equal, are endowed by the Creator unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Woo! Oh.
We want rights!
Order! Order!
Oh my God! Dang, start.
I know your plan.
Next.
Don't talk next time.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish and institute
New government!
New government.
Order! Order!
You don't like when we talk. Yeah, we don't.
We want a voice.
Very true. Wait, that's crazy.
That's probably another reason he took my iPhone.
There's money in my pocket. We have imputed the evil things that King George III has done to us. He has taken away our laws and our rights to live the way we want. He has sent troops over to America even though there is peace, and has sent his own new officials to watch over us. He has told the Native Americans and Indians to riot, attack, and kill Americans. And he has protected his soldiers from crimes they are clearly guilty for, such as murder.
Guilty!
Guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
No! I said it.
After listing our complaints, we have given our statement of independence. We, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intention. Do, in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and right ought to be free and independent states.
Here, here!
Here, 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 here.
Now, my friends, go ahead ahead and turn the cards around. And then, does anyone know the second card by memory? Yes? Okay, so the rest of you are going to have to share. That's right. Someone's going to hold it right at the middle, cluster together, if you don't mind. And then on the count of 3, you will all start and say, ready? 1, 2, 3.
And for the support of this declaration, with the firm reliance on the we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortune, and our sacred honor.
Guys, did you hear that? These men are willing to give up
That's all you're back.
their lives, their fortunes, most importantly, their sacred honor. All for one thing. Everyone throw your fists in the air on the count of 3. We're all going to yell out freedom. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Freedom! Let's give them a big round of applause, guys. Thank you, delegates. Good job, guys.
You're really bad.
Now, guys, those cards are worth 50 points each, so that means that each team gets 100 points. 100 points go to... Good job, my friends. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Everyone gets 100 points. Yeah. Wait, they were the only ones that did their team cheer. Let's do it again. 100 points go to... That's right. Good. Awesome. Now, guys, everything that we just heard from the 6 people who were up here, a little bits and pieces from the Declaration of Independence. Now, guys, it may sound a little bit confusing because it's an old document. Of course, there are some words in there that may be confusing, that we might not use as much anymore. But really, it's just a simple document that states the reasons why we wanted to become a free and independent country. Now, in this document, they also, we can see their religious beliefs reflected. They talk about God in this document. They say that He is the creator, the supreme judge of the world, and that He has given them these rights, and that there should be no government that takes them away. And that if any government starts to take away any of those rights, then it is the right of the people to alter or change. Everyone say, alter means change.
Alter means change.
Or to abolish or get rid of. Everyone say, abolish means get rid of.
Abolish means get rid of.
So people can change or get rid of the old unfair government and then set up a new one. Now, my friends, it says that some of these freedoms that they are receiving include the rights to life, the right to liberty, and the right to the pursuit of happiness. Now, my friends, when you turn 18, you can go to the polls and do what? That's how you're able to make modifications to our government if there's a law that we don't like. And so, well, there were 56 delegates who signed the Declaration of Independence. So since you guys are my delegates today, we're all going to sign the Declaration of Independence. Everyone grab your pretend quills, and we're going to sign right over here. Everyone sign, 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 sign. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Congratulations, delegates. You have just signed...
The Declaration.
Yeah, and also your death warrants.
Well, that's a long signature.
That's right. If you were signing this document, you were giving the British Crown a list of names which to hunt down. Many people were going to pay the price for that. Even people who didn't sign the Declaration of Independence, but regular American citizens too. We're going to meet those people in just a minute. But for now, it is time for... That's right. You're going to work on the second section, Declaration of Independence, together. You have a couple of minutes. I'm going to set up the timer, and you can get started. answers together. Go ahead and yell out the answers. I was the president of the Second Continental Congress. John Hancock, I was the main writer of the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson, I was the oldest signer of the Declaration of Independence. Benjamin Franklin, I was the second president of the United States. John Adams, what does the word alter mean? What does the word abolish mean? Rid of. And this is a quote from the Declaration of Independence that Benjamin Franklin read to us when he was here, and then we talked about it again. Here it is. That they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. That's right. That they among these are life, liberty. Yep, and the pursuit of happiness. Good job, my friends. So the last three are rights, liberty, happiness. 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 We're doing this, you guys. Okay, good job. Go ahead and put them away. Beautiful work. Perfect. So now let's meet some of those people who lost a lot of their things, who gave up a lot of things because of the Declaration of Independence. Let's meet a woman who paid with her own prized possessions and a man who paid with his own life. Let's meet Mary Draper and Nathan Hale. Give them both a big round of applause, guys. Welcome, Ms. Mary Draper. Welcome, Mr. Nathan Hale. Mr. Nathan Hale, do you have someone helping you out for your portion? Okay, so whenever he's done, you guys just go take him away, all right?
Hello, my name is Mary Draper.
Hold on. There you go.
Hello, my name is Mary Draper. Hello, my name is Mary Draper. I wanted to help the Continental Army during the Revolution, so I decided to melt down all of my family's heirlooms. They were pewter items and made wonderful musket balls for the soldiers. I know my things are important to me, but so are the freedoms in which we are fighting for.
Good job. Let's give her a big round of applause. Awesome work, Mary. And so she decided to melt down her family's heirlooms. Heirlooms are prized possessions that have been passed from generation to generation in a family. She was willing to let them go to do something good for the soldiers. She was a very nice lady, and she gets a whole 55 points going to... Good answer. Here you go. Welcome, Nathan Hale.
Hello, my name is Nathan Hill. I was born in Connecticut. I was athletic, intelligent, religious, and kind. I graduated from Yale at the age of 18. As captain of the Continental Army, I volunteered to go behind enemy lines as a school teacher to spy on the British. I was captured on September 22nd, 1776. At the age of 21, I was executed. Courageous to the end, I said. But I have one life. But I regret that I have one life but to lose for my country.
That's right. Take him away! Let's give him a big round of applause, guys. Awesome work. Good job, Victor. And that will be a whole 50 points going to... Awesome work. And in fact, Cameron, you've been giving me lots of respect and lots of sportsmanship today. Cameron, go for the glory. Go for the glory. Go for the glory. But it is still in Alabama. So guys, did you hear that Nathan Hale was a spy? Yeah. There were lots of spies during the times of the revolution, and in fact, we're gonna meet some amazing spy girls. Not the spies girls, but the spy girls. Let's meet Lydia Dara and Nancy Morgan Hart. Give them both a big round of applause, guys. Welcome. And then if you're helping her out, you can also come up with her. Okay, here you go.
Hello, my name is Nancy Morgan Hart, and I fought the battles of revolution in my very own home. 5 Tories came to my house demanding a meal, so I tricked them by giving them drinks and started taking away their muskets. When they caught onto my plan, I held them at gunpoint. I sent my daughter away to go get help to take away our prisoners.
Help! We're desperate! We need help! We're desperate!
Desperate, yes.
Good job.
When the British arrived the next day, the Continental Army will be ready for the surprise attack and defeat the Redcoats.
That's right. Let's give her a big round of applause. She was like the James Bond of the American Revolution, guys. Good job. And I love your hat, Josie. That will be 50 points going to...
The Blue Rebels!
Good job, my friends. Awesome. Now, guys, speaking of sacrifices, people who are making sacrifices, one person who was making a lot of sacrifices was George Washington. Remember, he was given 23,000 men for his army, and he was successful defeating the Redcoats, kicking them out of Boston. Everyone say, huzzah!
Huzzah!
But then they reacted by attacking New York. Everyone say, oh no!
Oh no!
Yeah. And so this attack resulted in nearly 3,000 men of Washington's being killed. That's right. They had no choice but to retreat to New Jersey. If they didn't have a victory soon, they were going to have to give in to defeat. But just Mr. General Washington, he wasn't going to give up that easily just yet. He decided to risk a surprise attack on Trenton on Christmas night, and that was the Battle of Trenton, followed by the cold winter of Valley Forge. Let's welcome the blue team with a big round of applause, guys. 2, 3.
Lights, camera, action! When most of the American and British troops stopped fighting for the winter, General Washington took advantage of the break to do a surprise attack. On Christmas night, 1776, Washington and the American soldiers rode across the Delaware River. We faced the German Hessians, we braved them, onward to freedom!
For freedom!
Once they were across, they marched on to Trenton and attacked the German Hessians.
Wake up! You're surrounded!
The American army captured over 900 enemy soldiers. The Battle of Trenton was one of the first major American victories. Cut! The next winter, General Washington and his troops waited at Valley Forge for the winter to end. The American soldiers did not have enough food or shoes for the freezing cold. Many of the soldiers had to wrap their feet with rags because of the freezing weather. General Washington had to do many things to keep his troops inspired to fight.
These are times that try men's souls.
Valley Forge was not a battle, but it was a very important part of the Revolution. Because of the courage and leadership of General Washington, the troops made it through this difficult winter.
Hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!
Good job, my friends. Let's give them a big round of applause for the other two teams. Raise your hand if you know the answer. What was the name of the river that they crossed to get to Trenton? Okay. Mia. What was the name of the river they crossed to get to Trenton?
Valley Forge River?
No. Let's see if Millie can save the point. Millie, what was the name of the river they crossed to get to Trenton?
Ohio River?
Not the Ohio River. Anyone else? No? Trent.
The Ohio River Valley?
No. Guys, what was it?
The Delaware River.
The Delaware River. That's right. Good. Now, my friends, 4 points. You guys did really good. Same thing. I really like the enthusiasm. I really like that you guys made proper use of your muskets. I really like the sun and the moon, and that you guys brought a boat, that you brought your sea. Good job. That's 75 points going to...
The Blue Rebels! Ha, ha, ha!
Good job, Blue Rebels. Woo. Awesome work. Wait, who was the last person to get a lollipop?
Cameron.
Oh yeah, Cameron. That's good. Okay, I'm looking out for great people today. You guys are all great. Now, my friends, So, turns out that this Battle of Trenton made General George Washington a hero. But then, at Valley Forge, lots of the soldiers were dying due to the cold, freezing weather, and it was hard keeping them inspired to fight. But there were people who were known to bring lots of inspiration to the troops. Some of those people were Thomas Paine and Martha Washington. So let's meet them. Give them a big round of applause, guys. Welcome, Thomas Paine and Martha Washington.
Hello, my name is Thomas Paine. I was born in England, but I wrote a pamphlet called Common Sense. It talked about the freedom of Britain. I also wrote The American Crisis, which General Washington read to his soldiers, read to his troops to make them inspired to fight. These are times that try men's souls, says the summer soldier in the sunshine patriot will. In this crisis, shrink the service of the country. Tyranny like hell is not easily conquered.
Good job. Let's give her a big round of applause. Awesome work right here. That is 50 points going to welcome, Washington.
Hello, my name is Martha Washington. I'm from Virginia and the wife of George Washington. During the war, instead of staying behind during the war, I inspired my husband and the troops in the battlefield. I spent cold winters in Valley Forge and Morristown. There, I organized groups of women to help make clothes, knit socks, and mend shirts.
Oh, hold on, I lost it too.
My presence lifted the spirits of my husband and his troops.
That's right. Let's give her a big round of applause. Awesome. So both Martha and also George Washington. There you go. Good work. Incredible. And that will be a whole 55 points going to... Good job, my friends. Awesome. And so also I see a lot of respect coming over from the red team. Gianch. Go for the glory. Go for the glory. Go for the glory. Yay! 50 points go to... Good job, my friends. Awesome one. Good. And so, guys, Martha Washington, she was a girl. And at these times during the Revolution, girls didn't have the same rights that we do nowadays. Women had a hard time having their voices heard, having their opinions taken into consideration. Well, despite that, there were some amazing girls who had an incredible impact during the times of the Revolution. Let's meet our founding mother, Abigail Adams, the writer, Mercy Otis Warren, and the famous poet, Phyllis Wheatley. Let's give them three a big round of applause, guys.
Hello, my name is Abigail Adams. I am the wife of John Adams, our second president, and mother of John Quincy Adams, our sixth president. I strongly supported education for women, even though I had no formal education myself. I worked very hard to become a strong reader and writer. During the war, I tended to our farm, taught our children, and expressed my political views in letters to my husband.
And she started with the Dear John letters. Let's give her a big round of applause, guys. Awesome work. And that will be 50 points going to...
Hello, my name is Mercy Otis Warren. I'm a famous female author. Through my letters, I advised many of our founding fathers, including George Washington and John Adams. My works had a great influence, and was good friends with both their wives. My works had a great influence on bringing awareness to women's issues and furthering America's cause.
Drawing from my personal experience and notes, I wrote the very first history of the Revolutionary War, published in 1805.
That's right, big autograph right there, Mercy. Thank you, thank you. And let's give her a big round of applause, guys. Awesome work. And that will be 50 points going to... Good job, friends. Hold on 1 second. Right over there. Blake, I really like your sportsmanship. Blake, go for the glory. Go for the...
Oh, fuck.
Hello, my name is Phyllis Sweetley.
Yes, let me actually... I'll grab it and I'll keep it right there. Okay, Phyllis Wheatley. I was one of America's...
Hello, my name is Phyllis Wheatley. I was one of America's first poets and the first African American to publish a book. Despite being a slave, I got a good education. I soon learned Greek and Latin. I published my first poem when I was only 13. I wrote poems about Christian faith, the revolution, and famous people. I wrote a poem about George Washington, and he loved it so much that I was invited to read it to him. I gained my personal freedom and was a strong supporter of freedom in the colonies.
Good job. Let's give her a big round of applause. And that would be a whole 50 points going to...
The Blue Rebel! Ha, ha, ha!
Good job, my friends. And so, guys, well, even with all these amazing girls helping out, the Americans still needed help. Do you guys remember what was the country that Benjamin Franklin traveled to ask for help? France! That's right. Then he tried to convince the King of France to join the war, help the Americans, but the king did not want to because they had already lost the war against against England. They did not want to lose another one. They had to be convinced, sure, that the Americans could defeat the British. That wouldn't happen until a little bit later. But before that, there was a Frenchman who actually helped them out a lot. His name was Marquis de Lafayette. Let's give him a big round of applause, guys. Bonjour, Marquis. Comment allez-vous, Marquis? Comme ci, comme ça? Oui, oui?
Bonjour, my name is Marquis de Lafayette. I'm a Frenchman who heard about the American fight for independence. I wanted to help, so I volunteered to join the fight for freedom. General Washington was very pleased to have my help. I was wounded at the Battle of Brandywine and went back to France a hero. There, I helped to convince the King of France to join the fight and help the Americans. I also spent much of my fortune on helping the Americans.
That's right. Let's give him a big round of applause, guys. Everyone say Marquis, Marquis. Marquis, Marquis. That will be 50 points going to... Good job, my friends. Good. And so, well, they were finally able to convince the King of France, but that was only after the turning point of the war. The turning point of the war was the Battle of Saratoga. The Battle of what?
Saratoga.
So whenever I say Sarah, you say Toga. Sarah! Toga! Sarah! Toga! Sarah! Toga! Sarah! You gotta remember that that's where Sarah lost her toga. That's right. Where did Sarah lose? Her toga. Who lost her toga? Sarah. Very important battle. We're gonna come back to it, so try to remember it. Now, they were able to win this battle because of this guy, this brave general who kept pressing on and pressing on and pressing on, because they were almost defeated at this point in the Battle of Saratoga. But this guy did not give up. He kept trying. He kept pursuing, and then they were able to win this battle, which turned things around. So they decided to build him a statue for all of his great efforts. And then they left the statue without a name forever, because this guy turned his blue coat for a red one. That's right, he became a traitor. His name was Benedict Arnold. Let's give him a big round of applause.
of the worst American traitors in one of the worst traitors in American history. I am angry at General Washington and Congress because I was not promoted and did not receive the money I deserved. I felt I deserved. With help from Major Andre and a British officer, I sold secrets about American troops and movements to the British for 20,000 pounds. I flee America and I escaped to England, but never received the full amount of money I was promised.
That's right. Let's give Parker a big round of applause. These are your secrets. Do you have your secrets, Parker? There you go. Incredible. So traitorous. Good job, Parker. Awesome work. Good. And since you knew your part about halfway, I'm going to give you 5 points, okay? So you'll get 45 total. Sound fair? Okay. Awesome. 45 points go to... Good job, my friend. Now, guys, Benedict Arnold did have his reasons why he switched sides. He was wounded. He was tired. He had become really, really wounded at some of these battles, and he didn't feel like he was getting what he deserved for all of the stuff that he had put in. He kind of lost sight of the bigger picture, and, well, you know, he had his reasons. Fortunately, it didn't work out for him in the end. But, guys, turns out that there is this flag right over here. This flag is called the Bennington flag. This flag flew at the Battle of Saratoga and also at the Battle of Bennington, where it got its name. So if you look at it, it kind of looks like one of our official flags. It has a blue canton or squared part, and then it has 13 stripes as well. It also has 13 stars, but first of all, the canton is bigger. The stripes are flipped. And the stars are 7-pointed stars in the shape of a very sad face. It looks like one of our official flags, but it's quite different. And it was never one of our official flags. We didn't get our official flag until a little bit later. And it was with the help of a lady, and her name was...
Betsy Ross!
Let's give Betsy Ross a big round of applause, guys. Welcome, Betsy Ross. And here's the Betsy Ross flag.
Hello, my name is Betsy Ross. Washington and I was known for making the first official American flag. My grandson told the story of how Washington and 2 other men of Congress came to my house asking for my help. Washington showed me a picture of a 6-pointed star, and I folded it, and with a snip of my scissors, I produced the 5-pointed star. Congress adopted my flag on June 17, 1777, and this day is now known as Flag Day.
Incredible. Good job, Josie. Let's give her a big round of applause, guys. Awesome work, my dear. And that is 50 points going to... Coming over from the white team today. Nolan, go for the glory. Go for the glory.
Oh, glory!
Yay! 50 points go to... Good job, my friends. Awesome work. Good. Now, guys, the Americans were finally united under one flag. But winning the war was going to need lots of help on the battlefield. Help and courage from men like John Paul Jones, and also women like Mary Ludwig Hayes and Deborah Sampson. Let's meet them 3. Give them a big round of applause, guys. Welcome. Yeah, go ahead and grab it. There we go. Thank you guys for being so on it. Now, where's Mr. John Paul Jones too? John Paul Jones.
John Paul Jones. John Paul Jones. Go up there. Oh.
It's okay, he was very still in the moment of the lollipop. Let's give him a big round of applause, guys.
fight in the Revolutionary War. I will haul water out to the weary men on the battlefield. The men call me Molly Pitcher. I wonder if this name will stick with me for the rest of my life. When my husband is wounded, I will take his place behind the cannon and fire round after round at the British.
Good job. Let's give her a big round of applause. And so, guys, you may think that it's so easy to pour water for people, but where was she at, guys? In the battlefield, at war. There were musket balls, cannonballs flying everywhere. She was a super brave lady, and she gets 50 points going to... Good job, my friends. Awesome work. Welcome, Deborah Sampson.
Hello, my name is Deborah Sampson. As a young woman, I dressed up as a soldier named Robert to fight in the Continental Army. As a young woman, when I was wounded twice, but no one found out I was a woman. When a doctor found out my secret, I was released honorably from the military. After the war, with help from Paul Revere, shout out, Congress gave me money for retirement. As a teacher, I enjoyed retelling my experiences as a soldier.
That's right. Let's give her a big round of applause. Careful, Deborah Sampson with your leg. There you go. She was like the Mulan of the Revolutionary War, guys. She actually dug a bullet from her own leg with her own hands so that she would not be discovered. She gets 50 points going to... Good job, my friends. Awesome work. Welcome, Mr. John Paul Jones.
Hello, my name is John Paul Jones, and I am one of America's first great naval officers. My flagship, the Home Richard, attacked the British fleet in September 1779. When my ship began to sink and the British demanded my surrender, I shouted, "I have not yet begun the fight." We went on to capture the British ship and win the battle. I later became one of the founders of the U.S. Navy. I have not yet begun the fight.
Great job, Nolan. Let's give him a big round of applause. Awesome work. And that will be 50 points going to... Good job, my friends. Awesome work. Good. Parker, you already got a chance to go for the glory, didn't you? Yes? Okay, good. So I'm going to save it for someone else just because, but you are giving me great sportsmanship. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give your team an extra 10 points. 10 points go to... Good job, my friends. Awesome. And so, my friends, what was the turning point of the war? Saratoga, where Sarah lost her toga. Yes, so at the Battle of Saratoga, the British had come down from the north, from Canada, and they were totally defeated. So they learned their lesson, and so they decided that they instead would focus in the southern colonies. So they came down and they took control of the Carolinas and Georgia and Virginia, but they could never gain full control of the territory. Although they did win many battles, they were not able to change the minds and the hearts of the people. In the words of Thomas Paine, you cannot conquer an idea with an army. So it was finally thanks to the endurance of General George Washington and to help from Frenchmen like General Rochambeau that the Continental Army was finally able to defeat the leader of the British troops, General Charles Cornwallis at Yorktown. Let's give him both a big round of applause, guys. If you have props, don't forget your props. Here you go. Rochambeau.
Bonjour, my name is General Rochambeau. I'm the French military leader who assisted the Americans in defeating the British leader, General Lord Charles Cornwallis, at the Battle of Yorktown in October 1781. With combined efforts of General Washington's 8,845 men and my 7,800 troops. We surrounded the British and forced them to surrender.
Good job. Awesome work right here. Good. Did you want to do your action?
Yeah, I don't know where the sword is.
We just borrow the one that I have over there. Oh, look. Nolan is giving you his, because you're going to need yours, Helen, because he's going to ask for it.
Hand me your sword.
Oh, okay. Let's give him a big round of applause, guys. Awesome work. Good job. And so that will be 50 points going to...
Charles Cornwallis. I'm the last leader of the British troops during the American Revolutionary War. I will direct the fighting in the southern colonies and defeat many of the colonial forces and march north. My troops and I will become surrounded in Yorktown, Virginia. And after many days of fighting, I will surrender. This loss will win the war for the Americans. I surrender.
Good job. Let's give Helen a big round of applause. Awesome work, Nadia. And that will be 40 points going to this all happened. The last major battle of the American Revolution, the Battle of Yorktown. Let's give the rest a big round of applause, guys. And then blue team, you can sit in front of the white team's chairs.
Nobody cares.
Where's our narrator? Oh, here you go, Lydia. Okay, we're gonna give him a lights, camera, action on the count of 3, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Lights, camera, action!
The American Revolutionary War had been going on under fighting the Americans, as well as other people around the world. Their army and navy were split up and fighting in many places. The leader of the British troops, General Charles Cornwallis, felt that he could win the war quickly. He invaded from the southern colonies and began to march his troops north. At the same time, the French Navy attacked the British ships and defeated them.
Forward!
The Americans, along with General Rochambeau and the French troops, attacked Cornwallis and his men in Yorktown, Virginia.
Attack! Bang! Bang!
After days of fighting, they surrounded the British and forced them to surrender. Cornwallis was so ashamed of losing the war that he sent his second in command, Brigadier